There are places in this world, and moments in the night when the veil feels thin. When the things we tell ourselves aren't real begin to stir just beyond our sight. Tonight, we delve into 3 such encounters. 3 chilling reminders that sometimes the most terrifying things are those we cannot fully comprehend. It stood in the old park, forgotten and overgrown, a relic of brighter days, now just a collection of rusting chains and faded, peeling paint. But it wasn't the decay that unsettled you. It was the swing set itself. Even on days when the air was perfectly still, a faint, mournful creak would sometimes drift from it, a sound that suggested movement where there should be none. As darkness fell, the park became a place to avoid, especially near that swing set. Late at night, when the world was quiet, you could sometimes hear it, a rhythmic swoosh, swoosh cutting through the silence, the unmistakable sound of swings in motion. But if you dared to look, you would see nothing. The seats hung empty, swaying gently in the darkness as if pushed by an invisible hand. It was a sight that twisted your gut, a silent performance for no one. Yet, a morbid curiosity began to gnaw at you. What was causing the swings to move? Who or what was there in the dark? One night, against every instinct, you decided to find out. Creeping closer, your heart hammered against your ribs like a trapped bird. The air grew colder, heavier, as you approached the edge of the park. The rhythmic sound grew louder, accompanied now by that mournful creak echoing in the stillness. And then you saw it. The swings were indeed moving, arcing back and forth in the gloom. But this time, something was different. On one of the seats, barely visible in the weak moonlight filtering through the trees, was a shape. A dark, indistinct form occupying the swing. It was too tall, too thin, a silhouette that defied natural proportions. Its head lolled unnaturally, as if broken at the neck. You stood frozen, unable to move, unable to breathe. And then slowly, deliberately, the shape began to turn its head towards you. 2 black voids, deeper than the night itself, locked onto you. They weren't eyes, not really, but they saw you. They held you captive in their terrifying gaze. Terror, pure and absolute, finally broke your paralysis. You turned and ran, your feet pounding the pavement, the cold night air burning your lungs. You didn't dare look back, but the sound followed you. The rhythmic swoosh, swoosh, and the mournful creak seemed to echo in your mind long after you were gone. It was a constant, chilling reminder of the watching thing in the park. It waits there still, swaying in the dark. A silent, empty swing set that is anything but empty. And sometimes late at night, you can still hear the sound. It was an antique, passed down from your grandmother. Beautiful, ornate, with a heavy, imposing frame that dominated the room. But from the moment it entered your home, it gave you the creeps. There was something about its surface, a depth that seemed to hold more than just your reflection. Sometimes, when you glanced at it quickly, you'd catch a flicker of movement in your periphery. A shadow that wasn't your own, gone the instant you focused. You dismissed it, of course. Tired eyes, trick of the light, overactive imagination. That's what you told yourself. But the feeling persisted, a subtle unease that settled in the pit of your stomach. Then the dreams started. Vivid, unsettling dreams that always began the same way. You were standing in front of the mirror, staring at your reflection. But it wasn't you looking back. Your reflection was distorted, a gaunt, twisted version of yourself. Its features were sharp, its skin pulled tight over bone. And its eyes, they weren't yours. They were filled with a malevolent glee, a predatory hunger that chilled you to the bone. In the dream, this distorted reflection would begin to move independently. It would reach out a hand, long and skeletal, its fingers like bone claws. It would beckon you closer, a silent, terrifying invitation. The dreams grew more frequent, more vivid, more terrifying. You started to dread sleep, knowing you would face that thing in the glass again. The line between dream and reality began to blur. One night, you woke up with a gasp, sitting bolt upright in bed. Your heart was pounding, your body slick with cold sweat. You felt a distinct, icy pressure on your arm, like a cold hand had just been there. You looked across the room, your eyes drawn instinctively to the mirror. The room was dark, but enough light filtered in to see its surface. and in the mirror, your reflection was smiling. It was a slow, deliberate smile, stretching the gaunt features into something truly terrifying. It wasn't your smile. It was wide, unnatural, filled with that same malevolent glee from your dreams. And then, as you watched, frozen in horror, your reflection in the mirror slowly, deliberately, winked. You haven't looked directly into that mirror since. It still hangs there, a dark presence in the room. And sometimes, when you pass it, you feel a cold gaze on your back, and you know it's still watching. The apartment was perfect. Great location, spacious, and suspiciously cheap. You didn't ask too many questions. You just signed the lease, eager to move in. The first few weeks were fine, quiet, and uneventful. You started to think you'd found a hidden gem. Then you started hearing them. Faint, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to drift from nowhere. Whispers. They were soft at first, easy to ignore. You told yourself it was the pipes, or maybe the neighbors talking through thin walls. But they didn't stop. They grew louder, more frequent, a constant low hum beneath the surface of your life, and they started to sound personal. They knew your name. You'd hear it, a soft, sibilant hiss, woven into the murmuring. They knew your fears, the ones you never spoke aloud. They would whisper them back to you, twisting them into chilling phrases. They even revealed secrets you had never told a soul. Things buried deep within your past. Things you thought only you knew. The walls seemed to know everything about you. A desperate need to understand, to make sense of the madness, took hold. One night, you pressed your ear against the wall, straining to hear, to decipher the chaotic murmurs. The whispers swirled around you, a cacophony of voices. And then, for a single terrifying moment, they coalesced. The many voices merged into one clear, chilling sentence. It wasn't a question, or a threat, but a statement of horrifying intimacy. "We're inside you now." The words weren't just heard. They felt like they echoed inside your very skull. You recoiled from the wall as if burned. Panic seized you. You didn't hesitate. You ran. You grabbed a bag, stuffed in whatever you could, and fled the apartment. You didn't look back, didn't try to understand, didn't care about the deposit or your belongings. You just needed to be gone. You never returned. But you can't escape the feeling. Sometimes, late at night, when you're alone in the dark, you feel a cold presence settle over you. A sense of being watched, from the inside out. And sometimes, just at the edge of hearing, you feel it. A faint, insidious whisper in the back of your mind. A chilling reminder that some things, once they get in, never truly leave.